Hello everyone, Benair here with a Legends of Runeterra update video. The devs have just dropped their 2022 roadmap for Legends of Runeterra. So I figured I'd make a video, react to what they're saying, and give my commentary on what they're planning and see if they're and see what they got up their sleeve. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just start the video and see what they have to tell us.
Must be some magic about.
Here in your
Loving the
time
new
of
arcade. Oh.
I like. Must be some magic about.
Here in your time of need.
All right. Nar, problem child, in ranked.
Hi, I'm Andrew Yip, Design Director for Legends of Runeterra. I want to introduce you all to Brett Freeman, Director of Strategy, and Dave Guskin, Game Director. Today, we're going to chat about our approach to PvE moving into 2022. We'll also share some details about competitive and updates to our release and balance cadence throughout the new year.
2022 will be a transformative year for LoR. We spent 2020 focused on launch, and 2021 was all about exploration, discovering what was possible with new game modes like the Path of Champions.
Love Path of Champions.
But now that we've laid the groundwork, we want to
Probably
build
my
on
favorite
everything we've learned.
mode.
And from what we've seen, you're ready for that too. In fact, more of you are playing the Path of Champions than all other game modes combined.
Yep.
And we've also seen nearly double the amount of players since the mode launched. We hear you loud and clear, and we're already exploring ways to improve the features you're enjoying most. Before Dave walks you through how we'll do that, let's take a look at some highlights since launch.
That's how we do things in Bilgewater.
What would you ask of a man with nothing? To die with honor. We're getting hot, hot, hot!
Sentinels, carry the darkness! Fight for the light!
Oh my, what's the correct protocol here?
Tomorrow has never looked so good!
Alan is your first ever Legends of Runeterra World Champion.
It's awesome to see all the enthusiasm, and there's so much more to look forward to. Heading into 2022, the team is focused on bringing you even more storyful adventures and refining the single-player narrative experience with new champions.
All right.
Then, later this year, we're going to shift our attention to new PvE features, so there are always exciting challenges waiting for you. The Path of Champions was our first attempt in introducing this type of progression system, and since launch, we've learned a lot from your feedback. With that in mind, we're planning to remake the game mode to be even more immersive and rewarding in the next release.
Okay.
Instead of playing through the same campaign for all champions, we want to give each champion an experience unique to their story. And progression will mean more than just leveling up or getting new relics.
Ooh, hold up. Pardon me.
You'll be able to
I am going to take a chance to study this Heimerdinger's Path of Champions. Okay, so star powers, champion level, starting deck, relics, and overview. Current powers. Explode in more stuff. When you play a card, deal damage to your opponent's. Deal some amount of damage to your opponent's nests. When you discard a card, deal something to all your opponent's
specific items
structures.
For new builds, and more than just leveling up or getting new relics. You'll be able to chase specific
the top ally in your
items
deck
for new builds and
control
customize how your champion legend plays through upgrades that are more
3
intentional.
powers now instead of 3 relics.
For example, maybe you want to swap
nice.
cards in your starter deck, or change to improve your passive powers. We're working on ways to give you more ownership over how your champion's story plays out.
Very nice.
Now, an overhaul like this is going to require a progression reset, but that won't happen until the spring.
Okay,
so keep the feedback coming in the meantime. The team wants to hear from you so we can make the Path of Champions the best it can be. As our priorities shift for all this new content, some features like expeditions will churn out until we have a chance to reimagine a draft-like PvP experience. But as of February 15th, we've uncapped the number of times you can get weekly rewards, so if you've got tokens left, make sure you get your last runs in before the spring update.
I got like 50 tokens.
Thanks again, and stay tuned for more PvE news in the coming months. Now Andrew will take you through the rest of the roadmap for 2022.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, real quick. Just to touch back on that, no, never mind. Watch the whole video, then go back. Watch the
First,
whole video,
let's
then go
talk
back.
content cadence. Vandal City marked our final region, so we won't have the same update schedule as we've had in the past. After A Curious Journey, we want to focus on standalone expansions that each explore something new. These won't always be the same size or even shape, and they'll add champions to both PvP and PvE. It's important to highlight that Runeterra is so much more than just a collection of regions. There are many champions who wander from place to place or have conflicting loyalties. Champions that could also bring unique mechanics and depth to gameplay. We're calling these Runeterra champions, and they'll break out of traditional region rules. So how do these Runeterra champions work? Well, luckily, one of them has kindly offered to give you a peek behind the curtain. You've probably heard of him.
Jin?
Jin the Virtuoso.
Art requires a certain cruelty.
Each Runeterra champion has specific deck building rules that are unique to them. As an example, putting Jin in a deck allows you to include cards with skills from all other regions. This opens up a ton of new ways to strategize, and we can't wait for you to see how other Runeterra champs will shake up deck building in expansions to come.
What? Are you
Next,
serious?
a quick update on competitive in 2022.
We'll
Seasonal
come back to
tournaments
it.
are here to stay.
We'll come back
and the
to
best
it.
players on each shard will be able to compete for prizes, glory, and a chance to enter into our 2022 World Championship. However, this year, we're no longer holding official broadcasts for each seasonal tournament. Instead, we're going to double down and devote all of our efforts to Worlds this year to make sure it's the best experience possible. Lastly, I want to talk about our balance cadence. We just saw a massive balance patch drop with over 30 new changes, and you can expect more patches like this every other month. Thanks to your input, we've brought some familiar faces and strategies like Control back into the limelight, and also adjusted some archetypes to more reasonable power levels, like Azarelia, Yordles, and Kinku Wayfinder, who as it turns out was really just 3 Teemos in a trench coat.
Like the great outdoors.
Beyond our updated cadence, we're
Like
always
their
keeping an ear
cannons.
to the ground to solve emergent issues, even if they fall outside of a scheduled patch window. So keep that feedback coming, and the team will keep making adjustments so the game stays fresh and fun to play. Now here's Brett to wrap things up.
With all the new content Andrew just talked about, we know you're wondering about rotation. So here's the official stance. It's complicated, especially for a game like ours, which relies on champions and their supporting cards. We understand the problems that rotation can solve and are keeping a close eye on them. By the way, you might have noticed a different loading screen last time you logged in. Or maybe you used the colorblind mode released last year. Or seen how Click UI has expanded beyond labs for better accessibility. We definitely want to keep releasing these kinds of quality of life updates where we can in 2022. Finally, let's take a look at where personalization is headed this year. We want to continue making richer, more dynamic skins that have custom animations.
Onward, everybody! The horizon calls!
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
Better! Brighter than before!
We're also planning to add themed champion spells to all of the existing epic skins in April.
Thank you.
Additionally, we'll release free Arcane Jinx and Vi skins to celebrate LoR's 2nd anniversary in that same patch. Lastly, if you're enjoying the Arcade Battle event, keep an eye out for more events later this year, including Pulsefire in the spring.
Ooh, very nice.
That's all we can tell you for now. There's so much to be excited about this year,
Okay.
and the team can't wait to share more with you in the coming weeks and months.
With your feedback and support, Legends of Runeterra has grown into something that we never could have imagined 2 short years ago. It's been a journey, but the real adventure was the Lux emotes that we endured along the way.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, guys. Okay. All right. I don't actually have a whole lot to add to that. That was really great. Love that the devs dropped that. But I have 2 things to talk about. One more than another. First of all, let's talk about good old Lab of Legends here. If we can get a quick... Yeah, this.
Legend plays through upgrade
All right.
experience unique to their story
So,
and progress.
from what I've taken away, things that Lab of Legends, Path of Champions, I keep calling it Lab of Legends, but Path of Champions, things that I thought, me and my friend, I have a friend of mine who has a love-hate relationship with Legends of Runeterra, and it actually touches on several issues that me and him have both had with this game mode for a while. I, for one, love it. But just because something's fun and enjoyable doesn't mean it can't be improved. Specifically, editing your starting deck. There are cards in some starting decks that make absolutely no sense for them to be there. And it makes it where you go, oh, I'm playing Teemo. I'm playing this really nice, shroom strategy, and you draw a 6-cost unit who's just a beat stick, and you're like, why is this in my deck? Why is this in my starting deck? If it gets added later on, that's my choice, but why is it in my starting deck? So giving you the option, even if you have to work towards it, where you can edit your starting deck a little bit to make it more fine-tuned, is amazing. Adding different powers to each champion. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but adding where, like Jinx currently has, when you discard a card, you deal 1 to the enemy nexus. Totally fine. It works with Jinx. It makes perfect sense. But if she got another power where, you can take that, or at the beginning of your turn, you add a fleeting jury rig to your hand. Something like that. Like, just a different option so you can go a different route with it if you want. I like that idea personally, and I wish they would implement that. It sounds like they are, so that sounds great. This whole required materials thing seems interesting. I want it to be more dynamic. Give me more options, get me more specific maps to fight on, and give me more of a challenge specific to my champion. Like, I don't mind if the trade-off to you get more powerful stuff is there are harder bosses and maps to play on. That sounds fun. I want that. And these custom roadmaps, the problem they fix is the Nautilus problem, as my friend group refers to it. In the current Path of Champions, Nautilus is this really odd roadblock out of nowhere. For certain champions, it is the hardest map. Victor is easy. It's just so easy compared to Nautilus, because tough on everything and these big sea monsters, it just makes it where, Jinx, I deal 1 to a random enemy when I discard a card. Okay? Literally, your power does nothing because the enemies all have tough. But then you have someone like Jace, whose ability is, when you summon a unit, I get +1 attack for every big spell in your hand. Well, that's perfect to fight against Nautilus, because even getting +1 power negates the tough that all the enemy units are getting. Therefore, Jace is amazing, but Jinx... I had to grind Jinx to level 18 before I got a run that beat Nautilus for the first time. Jace I beat on the first try at like level 11, and it was ridiculous. So, making specific maps for each champion means that Nautilus will still be a powerful enemy. But if you fight a Nautilus, it's because the game devs wanted this to be a very powerful boss at this point in the map. It's not this duality of, this map's good for some people and hard for others. It's now going to be intentional. If it's easy, an easy early game map, it was made to be that way. If it's a hard late game map, it was made to be that way. But we don't have a ton to go off of yet, though this level 30 right here, this 30 might mean something else, but I hope that it actually is level progression. And I hope that, because currently the max level I think is 21 in Path of Champions, I hope that they are bumping it up way higher. Because if that's level 30 and it keeps going down, because currently they start at the top and work their way down in the current UI, so we could have up to 40 levels. And if that's the case, super looking forward to it.
Leveling up.
The big thing though, Jin, is this little announcement, because this answers a lot of questions we've had recently with how people like Jin goes all over the world assassinating people, but he's from Ionia. The void creatures, where do they go in? So, like, yeah, Rek'Sai is specific to Shurima. That makes sense that she's a Shuriman champion. However, what about Kog'Maw? What about Cho'Gath? The Fiddlesticks, the demons, like, they roam all over the place, and most of them don't have like a set identity of they're only active in one location. So this gives us an idea of Jhin
has specific deck building
rules, exactly.
Each Runeterra champion has specific deck building rules that are unique to them. As an example, putting Jhin in a deck allows you to include cards with skills from all other regions. This opens up a ton of new ways to strategize, and we can't wait for you to see how other Runeterra champs will shake up deck building in expansions to come.
So, yeah, that's really big, because it could be something like oh gosh, I don't know, Jing Chao, like from League of Legends, if he became a champion, he might have an ability that says you can add a unit from any region as long as they have quick attack. Gosh, let me think. I'm trying to think of another one here. I'm just blanking so hard here. I'm just trying to. What if not Cho'Gath, Gragas? Gragas might be a Freljord champion, but he might say you can add any unit as long as it has regeneration. Or what if they have a mage champion like Kassadin, who says, oh, you can add Kassadin might not make the most sense, but what if he had a condition that you can add any unit, any spell, as long as it has drain in its text. Something like that. I think this opens up a lot of possibilities. It allows for, within balanceable... it's not... Because it's only if Jin's in your deck, and then there's a specific list of conditions that are met, that have to be met to put cards in, you can still balance it. And that's the important thing. So you retain the color pie for most things, but you add a few exceptions to the dual region rule. But the exceptions can be changed, can be buffed or nerfed as Riot sees fit. I like this a lot, and I don't see any major issues with it. Because I'm pretty sure we're confirmed, yeah. Because this right now has a Targon, Ionia, and Noxus cards in it right now. So it's exciting. And I like that they're branching out like this, and it'll add a lot more complexity to decks building, and we'll just have to see how it goes. That, and we get to see Jhin early. We know Jin's gonna be 4 mana, not much else, but look forward to it. But I've been rambling for 18 minutes. Like, this is gonna be so big, it opens up so many possibilities. I'll talk more about it once we get more information, but I love this roadmap because they're addressing the Jhin thing was just a happy surprise, and I'm really excited about it. But the Path of Champions is my favorite game mode. Path of Champions is the reason I never make it to Masters, because I get to Diamond and go, I'm not gonna grind out for Masters. I'm gonna play more Path of Champions. So that's what I'm most excited about. But this seems very interesting. I'm gonna love to see how they implement it, because they're gonna have to add. So most likely the next champion, the next set of champions we get are probably all going to be this way, where they add conditions. That way we get a nice. They're not just gonna add Jhin. They're probably gonna add 3 or 4, is what I'd guess. But we'll see how it goes. Let me know what you're most excited about, guys. Let me know what you think the some champions are going to be and the conditions they are. Yeah, leave a comment down below for champions that you think will fit under like the Jhin condition, where they add extra deck building rules for you. And let me know what you think of the new Path of Champions changes that they seem to be making. Let me know your thoughts on this roadmap down below. Let me know that if you're excited. And yeah, throw a like on the video. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you in the next video.